What's up, everybody? Wes, Hank, and Andy here. Welcome back to the show. This one, Back in Black series. Of course, that means we are looking at Star Wars The Black Series action figures again, wave by wave. And guess what?
There's a lot to go.
That's true. That is true. I messed up.
Uh-oh.
I messed up. And it's not 100% my fault, but I should have known better, considering we are still at a point in the line where, yeah, I have all of them.
Uh-oh.
I have all of the figures that we are going to talk about tonight. I had all of the ones that we talked about on the last episode. The last episode, I said we were done with the blue box.
Not quite.
I lied. I totally lied. We actually have 2 more waves of blue box.
It was an honest mistake.
And a bunch of...
Probably because half the last wave was a repack.
Yeah, well, guess what? We're not gonna get away from that 100% on this one either.
That's true.
We'll get to that shortly. By the way, it's been a while since we've done this. Skeleton Crew just wrapped up, so if you've watched Skeleton Crew, and you haven't checked out any of our Fandom Crew review series, that is there for your perusal. You can catch all of those episodes. They are on the channel under the Skeleton Crew playlist.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done this since what? After Ewoks. So, yeah, because this was our between.
So I think it was at least 8 weeks ago.
Yeah. I hadn't looked at our opening crawl since our last episode. I was just reading that.
As we were playing it.
Yeah. I was rereading the crawl and I'm like, yeah, they got me again. Because look. Just a couple of updates, and here we are again. I've done it again. Of course, couldn't have that Luke without getting the companion.
I mean, and I'm going to come out of retirement shortly because the Rex is on deck, and that's not an update at all. It's a straight reissue.
Sorry, I need to talk about that because I errantly thought that is a reissue, and it is not.
Really?
It is his live action appearance in the flashback sequence from Ahsoka, and this is a new it's a new figure. So you were getting Rex, ARC Trooper Rex Phase 1.
Oh, wow.
It's his Phase 1 look with the Phase 1 helmet.
Before he altered it.
Yeah, so
I am still
that is definitely I was like, oh, I don't need this, but now looking at it again and go, wait, that's Phase 1. Well, you know how I'm about clones. I am
coming and going.
I'm a nut for clones. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you tonight. Thank you for
Sean?
tuning in. Yeah, so a couple of updates here and there. It seems like each wave offers us something new. In the case of these two, the Luke and Leia, these are new. These are 100% new sculpt, by the way.
100%.
So these are not just little minor updates. However, this is the third Farm Boy Luke for me. As I
You have
got
the
the
land
original.
speeder version.
I
Yeah?
got the original. I got the land speeder Luke, and I got to be honest with you, when I get this other one out of the when I get this guy out of the box, I'm tempted to put the land speeder Luke head on this one if it will fit because he's got more of the windswept hair. Stick that one on the land speeder Luke and put the bucket hat on.
I think the newer ones have the ball attached to the head.
Oh, the dumbbell
versus
joint.
Right, versus
no.
the opposite. Because I immediately, as soon as I bought the new Ezra, I was like, I'm putting that right on a biker scout. Immediately popped his head off.
Oh yeah.
Second thing I did when I
yeah.
opened the box, which is super rare for me.
Yep.
And then I was like, no, these are opposite. So
Not
I'd have to do some
compatible.
cutting and gluing,
Incompatible.
which I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
prepared to do.
Have you gone as far as I've got a Dremel?
I still can't bring myself. I've done some weathering to a couple of figures that I thought were
That's-
under weathered, but
Yeah, that's about as
haven't
far as
been-
I've been willing to go. I've
Yeah.
never done like true surgery.
Did you do any of the matting? Yeah, I remember we talked about this before. Some of the shiny stuff.
I have not. So I watch a lot of. I do watch quite a bit of action figure content online, and one of the channels that I like to watch, the guy that does it, he's a fan of what is it, Mister? Oh my God, it's some funky name. It's like every time he says it, I think Mister Sparkle, but it's like Mister something dull coat, and I'm
Sure.
like, oh. I
Yeah.
gotta get me a good dull coat, but I'm afraid to just walk into the hardware store and pull something off the shelf without having somebody in the community go, no, this one works.
Yeah, that's true. I would think any matte gel medium would work, which you could get a tube of in a.
So to answer your question, no, I have not tried to dull down any of the portraits on the newer, shinier faces.
The only one that I find disconcerting is honestly, it's not even a Black Series figure. It's my Raiders Indy.
Oh yeah,
And he looks like his beard looks like he's wearing like he screwed up with some high gloss lipstick. Like everything from his nose to his chin is
he
like
just got like all like
and
it's Friday
this-
night.
it's like like a flash on
No,
when I
it's
take
Saturday
pictures
morning.
of him. Yeah, Saturday morning.
That's
You got
funny.
it. Shorty, get in here.
Oh my God.
Couple comments coming in.
What do we got going on here?
Yes.
We got Gaz coming in. Woo! We are back in black series for sure. Good to see you tonight, Gaz. Thank you for tuning in. Josh telling us it is 7 degrees. Hold on. There we go. 7 degrees and raining. How are things your way? Well, we are
Very snowy.
in the Celsius. We are what, -2, -3 right now,
I believe so.
and we had
that's not so bad.
what, 4 or 5 inches of snow overnight.
Yeah.
So I got that cleared away this morning. Otherwise, it's pretty seasonal right now for our part of the country.
Yeah, we're back to like seasonal norms. We had that crazy cold snap for 3-4 days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One other one there from Josh too.
Where are we going here? Where?
Just above Gaz.
Oh, wait. What I hate is buying a figure that I thought was new and getting home to find out that I already have it. Who here is guilty of double buying or even triple buying the same action figure?
Yeah.
I army build though.
Oh,
done
no,
that.
not an army builder.
No.
You see it on the shelf and you go, do I have that one?
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's pretty bad with comics right now with that because of all the alternate covers.
Oh my God.
There's a
I
little
don't
of
remember
that.
buying that one.
I definitely have done that. This one for obvious reasons, I had to rebuy this one
Yes.
because out of the box, I went.
Obi-Wan got a hold of them.
I literally, it would have been perfect if it was Ponda Baba,
Right?
No way.
but no, snapped his arm off, so I did have to rebuy him. By the way, anybody collect Black Series that needs something for a kit bash, this one's up for grabs. Happy to send it to you for the cost of postage.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble now
Why?
because of that comment right there.
What did I do?
She's
What?
got you on video now.
My wife Kim. I finally have proof. You didn't need proof. You knew.
I might have taken the cake. The love interest, Tobias Beckett's love interest. I can't even remember her name, unfortunately.
Val.
From the Soul Val.
Yeah.
I have 2 of those.
Oh
for
wait,
some
is it
reason.
Val or Val?
Val, maybe.
Val is
Val is
also
the
from
other.
Andor.
Oh
Hmm.
Oh dear, are they the same
And-
name?
no, I think it's slightly different.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have 2 of her for some reason, and I'm like, what would compel me to do that?
I don't know. I don't know. And then a follow-up from Josh. He says, it's why I've started taking pictures and putting it on my Facebook album to keep track. That's
Good idea.
That's a good idea. Facebook, hey, if you don't mind, and you can set your albums to private, so you basically have unlimited photo storage on Facebook.
Well, until they start charging for it.
Sean, I have done that too many times. We are all guilty. Oh, Gaz too. Yeah, me.
Yeah.
We've all
We
done
should
it.
probably post our doubles in some chat so we can maybe trade them up a bit.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. We did shut down our Facebook group because it was redundant. Do we need a new group? I don't know.
The Fandom Power Trading Place.
Trade your fandoms willfully.
Even a messenger group would work.
Oh yeah, we could totally do a messenger group, or for our international. Well, I guess messenger works internationally. That, or we can do a WhatsApp chat, a group chat that way.
Oh, cool.
Something to consider for sure. You guys that are watching now, if you're interested in something like that, let us know. So, as I said at the beginning of the show, I lied. There are more blue box figures to cover. So, you guys want to get into it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. So we're gonna see some things we've seen before. I just want to set the stage and remind everybody that we're still in the year 2015. 2015.
We're affordable.
Well, actually, there's a funny story because in our private group chat this week, Hank, you said something absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, this Luke Skywalker is like the only non-Disney figure I have.
Right.
Well, all the figures we're talking about tonight are 2015. Oh,
right.
Shit, they're all Disney.
They absolutely are all funded by the machine. The mouse
all right,
machine.
So this is Wave 7. By the way, Wave 7 of the Black Series, I guess I should, I want to clarify that a little bit more because up until tonight, we've been omitting, now Andy, you've gone back and changed all the titles, so we're all tickety-boo now, but the figures that came out in the orange box, that we will refer to those as Phase 1. The blue box, Phase 2. So we are in Phase 2, Wave 7. It's only 2 figures. 2 figures. And my autocorrect changed a word on me. It's a good thing I know what it is.
Cross-whore.
It did it again. It wasn't that bad. It's still trying to do it to me. Stop doing that. Stop. There we go.
There you go.
It kept changing Bosk to Boss.
Well, Josh, one more there. Hang on to this thought because we will get there.
What's Josh saying? He says, I thought about calling in to talk about Power of the Force stuff. And what's your take on it? Do hold on to that. Let me wire up the phone here. I don't normally wire up the phone for Sundays, but that's a good idea. Okay. We are connected. We can take a call. Hold on to that. If you are home tonight and you're not busy, we got an extra slide built in just for you, Josh. Okay. So let's talk about, this is Han Solo, Stormtrooper Disguise. Oh, wait. I think we need to mention this one. Gaz, I just knowingly bought a 3rd Cobra Commander, the Chrome Face, Super 7 Plus, which brings me to 3 total of that style, but I figure Cobra Commander needs some body doubles.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's a good take on it.
He's the Saddam Hussein of action figures.
He just keeps popping up. Hank, you've got a, let's
I have one live here, yeah.
You do. You've got a live one. Let's take a look at him.
Solo.
There we go. There he is.
It's Han Solo.
Nothing new here. Actually, that's not true. There is one new thing here.
The weapon has this silver.
That's it.
Barrel?
That is it.
Really?
Yeah,
That is the first time we've got a paint app on the E11 Blaster. That would have been on the original bolt of the Sterling submachine gun.
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to talk about with this guy is, do we get the hero helmet? Can you solo me for a sec?
Yeah, I can. Just hang on a second. There you go.
Now, is that a hero version of the helmet? There's a little.
I don't know,
blurred
but the
out
lenses on that are pretty wide.
Compared to, say,
No wonder they can't
that
shoot.
guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a completely different sculpt.
Right. I wonder if they took, like, whether they don't give us those details, but I often wondered if that looked different enough to be the hero You know,
I don't
and
know.
if you guys out there in La La Land don't know what we're talking about, they actually gave Luke and Han far better helmets than the rest of
Trooper
the
helmets. Yeah.
rest of the troopers.
It's true. Where are we at here? Let me go back to. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So Han Solo. This is Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise. He is figure number 9 in this current wave, or in this phase, I should say. And that numbering convention is going to screw with us again at least once more as we move into the red and black boxes. But that will be it for 100 and some or more. This Han Solo is built on that Stormtrooper body that we've already talked about. So the wonky
Weird
leg.
legs.
It has the
wonky
derpy
legs.
yeah, it sure does.
It got the wonky legs. And this is a straight up, it is a repaint, but it is a reuse of the head sculpt that we already got on the Smuggler Han Solo, or the A New Hope Han Solo that we already looked at. To good effect, though, I have to say, I know it's just a gentle repaint here, but the skin tone alone on the
It
Stormtrooper
does
one,
make him look a bit less jaundiced.
jaundiced,
Right.
a little more healthy.
But I don't know if it's a new neck or not, because
I don't I don't know if that's just something covering, like if it's the body glove is just
like I'm looking at it now and it looks like it might be,
is it part of the neck
it's like an addendum to the neck. So there's like a middle piece.
underneath
I'm going
that?
to do a nasty thing and pop his head off here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So there is a tiny, oh, where am I? Camera.
I don't
You see
think I've
that?
ever,
Oh,
It's got a little neck
I don't
piece.
think I've ever,
Because it is the exact same head, just repainted.
yeah.
So yeah, and then you have the black ball with the neck piece that drops over.
Ew.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
that's an easy way to save on cost.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So yeah, and as we just pointed out, this is the first time we've put that paint application on the blaster, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. It adds
That's
that
a nice little
touch,
set
right?
off, right? Yeah.
It's funny though, because going forward, this paint application is hit and miss on figures that come with an E11. Like,
It
not
sure
every
is.
blaster gets it.
This is the Stormtrooper that I just pulled earlier, and
yeah.
that's the archive wave, and it doesn't have the paint app.
No, that's weird how they do that. And it's funny because there's no, other than I think the lenses and maybe the grills on the helmet are painted, but the body is just black and white plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think you could afford a little bit of paint. Hang on a second here. Let me just get caught up here on the comments. Okay, Josh, you're home. You don't have your son. Okay, cool. Also, I have the Power of the Force 2 version of Han and the Kellogg mail-in Luke. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, very cool.
Gaz says that the circled head sculpt looks like that Indiana Jones wannabe from the beginning of the last Crusade.
It's River Phoenix, ain't it?
Oh, that's funny.
No, the guy that gives River Phoenix the fedora.
Okay.
Yeah. It's almost like he's
Coronado's cross.
Yeah.
It's like a congratulatory. You almost had it, kid.
Who's the guy in King Solomon's Mines? Isn't that
Oh, Tom Selleck?
No, the character.
I know, yeah.
Oh my God, it's Sean Connery from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's Alan Quartermain.
Alan Quartermain.
Alan Quartermain. Zazel coming in on YouTube this morning where you are, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Zays.
All right, everybody's getting caught up in the chat. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Han Solo, 100% reuse of the Stormtrooper body, the wonky leg Stormtrooper. But if you've got that figure and you've got it standing, you have accomplished something.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of Han Solo Stormtrooper disguise?
Well, if you're reenacting the movie, it's a good addition.
This is a key sequence from the film.
Mm.
Yeah, and one of my favorites, realistically. Some of the best lines, like, you don't really get them when you're a kid, but as an adult, like, boring conversation anyway. It sets a running theme through all of the movies, all of the TV shows, and that's that the heroes invariably end up in disguise.
Yep.
I have a shelf that is like just heroes in disguise. And if you're going to reuse something, what a great use of the reuse trope, I guess. So
I mean,
we have
this
this head sitting around, we have this body sitting around. The
Slap
only
'em
thing they had to
together.
remake new, I guess, would be the helmet.
this is 100% narrative driven. This is not to sell. I mean, obviously it is to sell toys, but
Yeah.
this is in the story. This is a key moment from the movie. So this is a natural for me.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit about that helmet. I'm going to talk about it again when we get to the companion piece for this, because in wave 8 we get the companion Luke Skywalker. The helmet, there's no difference between those helmets. It's like they did not do the,
Like
you
a
know how like
custom
with
fit.
you know with the modern clones, like they all have like a blank Django head
Mm-hmm.
and all the helmets are meant to fit the Django head.
Yeah.
Right.
Not so with these. So if you have both of these,
The
you
heads are
you
no.
can swap the helmets.
Hmm.
They are a very tight fit, and for that reason, I don't I don't display them with the helmets on because I fear for their noses getting.
Noses.
The rub.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that the modern reissue of Luke and Stormtrooper disguise with the
The
slick
wet
back
head?
hair. When we
Yeah,
pull that up, I'll pull my live figure out.
Sure.
But that helmet doesn't fit over Han's hair.
No,
His
it's got a
like
smaller
cowlick.
opening, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I like this. Also, the grip, like how he's got his hand in there. I have tried a million different ways from Sunday to get my figures to hold the helmets like that.
Not a hope.
It's really difficult to do. Like you breathe on it the wrong way
Yeah.
and
It
they're
drops.
dropping it.
I have them holding them generally like football style under the arm.
Mm.
I tried to do that as well.
Yeah.
It's much easier. So let's go around the room. As an action figure, what do you think of Han Solo Stormtrooper disguise? If we had to rate him, where are we at?
So I'm a trooper nut, like you're a clone nut.
Yep.
And so when I oscillate back and forth between that hero shelf I talked about in disguise.
Yeah.
And some days I'll be like, there aren't enough stormtroopers on my Imperial shelf. And so it's nothing for me to like for a photo op, snap the helmet on, throw them up there, and suddenly I have way more stormtroopers.
Right.
It's a solid 8 or a 9 out of 10 for me, just because it's a brilliant use of the reuse. It's one of my favorite scenes from that movie. It's kind of like,
can I throw a wrench into that?
yeah.
I want to ask, is that you said it's an 8? You said 8, right?
Yes.
Or a 9.
An 8 or a 9.
Okay, so let's just give you the benefit of the doubt. It's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a 2025 9 or a 2015 9?
That's a 2015 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I've always said, like, I want more, but especially when you're buying these other lines or even Hasbro's other lines.
Yeah.
I want a belt that comes off. I would love to be able to have.
This belt comes off, but it's never going back on without assistance.
Exactly. But I would love to be able to, like, and we talked about the price of this on another figure, but I'd love to be able to take that armor off and be able to put it back on.
Did I mention the price point at this point? We're still at $19.99 US.
That's right.
$19.99. I double checked again before I did the notes for this. We don't get a price increase until the year 2023. Isn't that something?
And everything went to hell.
Any idea what this guy's going for aftermarket? Because I paid 10 Canadian in a loose bin for him.
Well, then he was definitely worth it.
No, 100%.
I wouldn't wave a finger at $10. Even today, I would buy this figure for $10.
Mm-hmm.
Josh says average height for a stormtrooper was 5'11". Mark Hamill was 5'9". That makes sense. Also, he's a 6. He's a 6. Sean says you can't switch the helmets with Luke. Han's helmet is bigger on Luke. Yeah, I mean, I've mashed the helmets on both of them, so I mean, I'm sure that's probably true. But there's no real difference between the two of them, like look wise. They both look the same. Still have the derpy eyes. And they're just too tight anyway, so I don't bother. Maybe this is one of those things where there's a variance by whichever copy you may have bought. Bought? Is that a real word?
Sure.
Bought.
Bought. Yeah,
Purchased.
Acquired.
Purchased.
Purchased.
Have we done that joke before?
What's that?
The what's R2? R2 is short for R2D2.
No.
And Chewie is short for Chewbacca.
Okay.
What is Luke short for?
Oh dear.
A stormtrooper.
Yeah. We got one in.
And also,
It's never too late.
Find the controls that extend the bridge.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so we get a 2015 9, 8 or 9 out of 10. Andy, where are you?
I'm thinking a 7 for 2015.
He's a 7 in 2015.
Like this early in the line, I don't think we need really to be like reusing everything we've got so far.
Yep.
But at the same time, I mean, that could be a hell of an idea for, Hasbro or anybody, because I know they probably have buckets and buckets of parts, like leftover bodies, leftover heads.
Yeah, sure.
Just put like a random selection in a box and ship it out and let people kit bash whatever they want. Because they do anyway, right?
I need a bunch of Stormtrooper body parts for my Ewok display anyway.
Exactly.
You gotta figure it's early enough in the line that they probably still didn't know what their longevity was going to be like.
I believe that.
A lot of toy lines, like 2-3 years, you get out of them and then they drop off. 3 years is a good drop off. You're doing okay if you last 3 years.
I mean, in the 80s, 3 years was sort of the given, right?
And we're just throwing out 2015 like casually, but that's a decade, man.
Mm-hmm. And remember that this line started in 2013. We're already 2 years in, or in our third year, I should say. Gaz wants to say I'd give him a 6 or a 6.5 because of the hairstyle. It is pretty. I wish I had that.
There's a lot of cocaine.
I am right in the ballpark with you guys. I think that in 2015, now mind you, I was all in on this line right away. So like by this time, not only did I have the Han Solo, but I already had like both Sand Troopers that had come out at this point, and I had 4 or 5 plain Stormtroopers. So that leg thing really got to me. So I have to deduct points for the leg thing because they didn't do anything to fix this. So, this isn't the worst paint job going for those figures that still look like action figures that don't have the face paint or face print tech on them. So I think I'm a 7.5 on this one. I like it.
Nice.
Okay, our next one, we are leaving Star Wars or we're leaving A New Hope, and we're going to The Empire Strikes Back, and that is Bosk, Bounty Hunter Bosk. This is our second bounty hunter now from the Empire crew of bounty hunters that we've gotten. Of course, Boba Fett being the launch figure for the entire line. Hank, you've got one there, and let's have a look at him.
So he's an archive, so I would imagine there's a better paint app on his face.
I do have some notes on that. For the archive series, the only noticeable or notable difference, and it may not be everyone, is that the eyes some of the eyes on these have been reported to be a darker red color on the archive one than they are on the original. Otherwise, there is no difference in the figures themselves.
Really lovely Relby on the back there.
Yes.
Oh. Dope.
Did Bosk take a tumble?
No, I bumped my mic is in a new position because of my fancy chair that I bought, so I've had to. He stands very well. This figure, nice broad feet.
He's chunky. He's very solid figure.
He weighs quite a bit. Yeah.
One of the things about this figure that I remember was just, for me anyway, how hard he was to get in the original line. I had to hunt this one down. Josh wants to know, wasn't his spacesuit the same one used in Space Odyssey? Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in fact, this is, and all of the X-Wing pilot suits, they're all the same jumpsuit, essentially, just different colors. There's another case of that. Like Mork's costume from Mork and Mindy was a reuse from an episode of Star Trek.
Nice.
Yeah, there was the armor that they used in Starship Troopers.
Oh, those helmets
that made the rounds.
Those helmets have been everywhere.
Yeah. And if you want to see more of that, go back and check out our prop culture episode.
Right. We did talk about that, didn't we? So Bosk is 100% new sculpt here. There is nothing reused on him. He's just such a, even now in 2025. And keep in mind, if you include the archive figure and call it the same figure, there hasn't been an update to this one. I don't know if we need an update to this one.
Not unless it comes with a SID.
I mean, you could always make an argument for it's a modern figure what I like it to be a little more articulate because, and Hank, maybe you can demonstrate this.
Hmm.
You have that there's some limited articulation at the elbow because of the way that the suit is cut.
He has those elongated arms, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
So if that's about it.
Yeah, so I mean, you
that's
can
about
get
it. There is no 90 degree there.
A double joint would go well.
So that's all you get. I mean,
with the arms rolled up though on the suit. I guess I don't know how you do that. Roll the
well,
sleeves up more.
yeah,
above the
but
elbow.
you can see the joint is way high.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, legs are okay. Double joint, they're not bad.
I think the big thing here though, and this is kind of cool, it's either novel or it's gimmick, depending on how you look at it, is the articulated jaw.
Right.
I don't know, jaw open or jaw closed?
Open on mine.
Yeah,
so it's
open on mine as well.
Yeah.
If it does the thing, I'm going to make it do the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Josh says, I thought I remember that. Starship Trooper armor was used in an episode of Power Rangers. True.
Yes, it was.
Two. True. Yes. Yes. Also true.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're saying. Bosk. So yeah.
I can only see that a reissue of this because of like demand. Like this is why we started getting archive waves, because the secondary price was so high for this friggin' character
that Disney wanted the money instead.
Was he in the first round of archives?
First or second.
I've only bought like one or maybe two archives ever because I've always gotten the original.
Was Empire Boba,
yeah.
IG-88, and Bosk were in that first wave.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about IG-88. That might be the worst figure in the line. It's definitely up there with one of the worst. That one desperately needs, and even the IG-11, which you can say is IG-88, doesn't do it much
I think
better.
it's an IG-88, just a repaint.
Yeah. But this figure, for what he is, I'm surprised, and this is another thing, with the prevalence of Trandoshans in Star Wars media over the course of like the Book of Boba Fett, we've seen them a lot more in The Mandalorian.
The Bad Batch.
Why haven't we gotten some more like Trandoshan bandits or Trandoshan hunters? Any of the named hunters in those Clone Wars episodes?
It's true.
Or even Sid to boss them all around.
I think Sid would warrant a completely new sculpt though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But just talking about that reuse, like you could gently repaint that head, stick it on a new body, and it's a new guy.
Yeah, you could even reuse the arms and probably just have new leg sculpt. The feet would still work.
Yeah. So you've got some tooling already there at your disposal. But no, he's the only Trandoshan we've ever gotten so far. Will we get another one?
I think so. At some point.
Everybody. Over on a long enough timeline. I mean, you can say the same thing about Greedo, right?
That's true. We've gotten what, 3 Greedos?
Yeah.
In the Black Series, 3?
3?
So.
Definitely 2. We got a.
I don't have the move. Yeah, single card with
movie scene,
which is the same as the single card, and then there's the Kenner homage.
I have the Kenner homage
in the anniversary in the Star Wars wave
on the vintage card back.
Yeah, that one. God, I like this figure. I just wish he did more. Unfortunately, he doesn't. But fuck, I shouldn't complain. As somebody who takes their figures out of the box, puts them on a shelf in a very museum-like pose, this fits my style.
He does what he did in the movie. Stands there.
Yeah, he really didn't do anything else, did he? He just literally stood there.
Stand there and listen to Vader.
A little growling.
If that. So I guess we got to go around. We got to give this one a score.
I'm feeling generous
tonight. You got one in hand, so
I'm feeling generous tonight.
All right, what do you think?
It's a solid 8 for me because I'm a sucker for the bounty hunters in general, and because it was so difficult for me to find. Not as hard as Dengar, by the way. Dengar was the hardest figure I've ever had to find. I guess I could put Rex there since I still don't have him, but I'm a sucker for Star Wars figures realistically, but I'm feeling generous tonight. He looks fantastic. He feels fantastic in hand, and I'm sort of like you. I can live with the limited mobility because at the end of the day, he's on a shelf with the rest of the bounty hunters, and he sort of sits there, unless there's like a specific project that pops into my head for an art piece. So yeah, he's a solid 8 for me.
8 out of 10.
Hmm.
8 out of 10. That's cool. Andy, where are you at?
7.5.
7.5.
That's not too far off.
I think for me, what solidifies this one for me is that this is the second bounty hunter. So now you've given me 2.
Yeah.
You've
now
told
you're
me
in.
now we're doing this.
Right.
It's going to take a few more years to get them all, but we're
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
So that definitely adds to the score for me. Articulation is both a positive and a negative here. I like the hinged jaw, even though I mean you're going to set it and forget it. It's kind of like the Ronco, the chicken thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the articulation, again, I mean, it fits what I need it to do on a shelf. Would I like it to do more on those occasions, rarely where I pull one off and kind of handle it? Sure. But I mean, I'm a Star Wars apologist. I can't help it. And
Yeah.
this is, I mean, if I'm keeping an accurate count with the 2 that I picked up this week, I'm now over 300.
Mhm.
So, I mean, clearly I like this stuff. Yeah, he's a 7. He's a 7.5 for me. I don't think he's not a 10. This is not a 10.
No.
He's a generous 7.
I can't think of a 10.
In the Black Series?
I can't think of one.
Oh.
We might have to hit it organically. I know I might have to be in the same kind of mood I'm in now. I will tell you this before we get, well, we did have Andy's score, but I held it up. I did the articulation test for you guys. And
Yeah.
I plopped it back down without even thinking, and it
Yep.
stood right up.
Stood right up. Well, I mean, that is a sign. Who here has, pardon my language, who here has fucked around with
Ugh.
every brand of action figure stand known to man, only to abandon all of them?
Yep.
Ugh. So annoying. So annoying.
And the
That-
Black Series is actually horrible for this, at least these early ones, because the 3mm peg on one figure is a
Right.
2mm peg on
Right.
another one, and then a 3.5mm peg. Like, there is no consistency on them.
I bought a box of local comic shop, a box of DC Multiverse, the round.
Yep.
I sanded all the DC words off. I don't even know if I have one handy. And they will fit, but you have to, like you say, the odd figure, you have to like snap it on, and other figures just fall right off the peg.
I did something similar. I went to remember Matty Collector?
Yes.
When Mattel was doing their direct-to-consumer model through their Matty Collector website, they were selling some of their WWE brand through that portal. And one of the things that they did were these WWE multi-tier figure stands. And they were like a row of 3, and then you could snap the thing into the front and you get like a multi-tiered. I went, by the time I'd caught on to them, you couldn't buy them from Matty anymore. So I went to Ringside Collectibles and I bought them out. I bought everything they had in stock, and I used those for years, actually up until, oh hell, even when I moved everything into this room, into the studio, I still had a few in service. But so frustrating.
I would have to say that I agree with Sean. There's last comment.
I want to catch up here on the comments. I'm just going to go back a little bit more. We
100%.
got Josh saying the worst figure that I have is the Eugen Appleseed movie Briareos. I hope I'm saying that right. Briareos. I cannot get that to stand or hold his weapons. Plus his antennas broke and the gun snapped in half.
Oh,
It sucks because I love those movies. I did see the original Appleseed. I thought that was pretty cool.
wow.
It was ahead of its time with ultra realistic CGI. I liked it. Josh gives Bosk a 7. And he says, regarding action figure stands, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot find a good stand anywhere. Sean says, I like the DC stands.
As far as they're the best ones I've come across so far that are like readily available, because I mean, like I said, I bought a stack of them for, I don't know, $1 a piece.
Yeah.
They're fairly universal.
Well, I always took it that 3.5 mil or 3mm peg was sort of the action figure standard.
Yeah, you think so.
It turns out it's really not.
No.
I will say this, and I know it's the latest and greatest thing for me, but since I have gotten into the talking about Hasbro, the G.I. Joe Classified Series retro card figures, every one of those comes with a vintage style rectangular figure stand. And they are some of the best stands going. 2 pegs, not just one, 2 pegs, so you can peg both feet in. And as I'm looking at my collection here, yeah, everybody's standing up.
We'll hit it organically in a couple of episodes, but the blast damaged stormtrooper that came in the box with the crazy blast effects and stuff came with a rectangular double pegged stand.
I don't know why they didn't just keep up with that.
Like the Obi-Wan and clone get up has that triangular with the
There's been
like like a slipper.
There's
It
2
slides
of them
over
that
the
have
top.
that. Obi-Wan came with that, and so did the jump jet trooper.
Yes.
The one with the yellow pauldron.
That's
Did
right.
the Gaming Great one come with that?
I don't think so. I have them both.
Because
So
one is the jump trooper, the other one is a rocket
from Rebels.
trooper?
Yeah, one is the Rebels version. One
Yeah,
is
the Rebels one came
rocket
with the
trooper
thing
from the
for
game.
sure.
Yeah,
right. Oh, Sean says that DC has some cool flight stands.
I have a couple NECA flight stands, and they're.
Can you buy them independently?
They're spotty.
I don't know for sure.
I'm always looking at Amazon and stuff, and like sometimes they like. I just don't know. Take a chance on. I see some of these things where it's like, here's a peg. You plug it into the base, and you got the base has got like, say 8 or 9 holes, so you can position it around. And then it's got the waist clip and an articulated arm. And I've had stuff like that before with like SH Figuarts. And the plastic on them just feels like 1980s like plastic model kit plastic. I'm afraid I'm going to break it.
Yeah, I have some high end My Hero figures, not Fig Arts, but Rebel Tech, I guess.
Yeah.
And their stands are decent, but you have to continually tighten them with like a watchmaker's kit.
Oh wow!
Because they will just loosen,
like the little precision screwdriver.
Just chilling on the shelf. They will loosen over time, and you have to kind of every few weeks give them a little tightening.
Well, this might be the smallest wave of figures in the line at just 2 for wave 7. And I don't know if that was a plan. Presumably all this stuff is planned, but usually, at least when I was in the business, a wave of Hasbro figures was usually 6 to a case, and it might be 3, sometimes 4 characters, which meant somebody's getting short packed.
Right.
But 2 figures in wave 7, and
Bosk, what box of these would be like.
Bosk being incredibly hard to come by, at least here in Canada, or I should say rural Canada where I live.
So a box full of 5 Hans and 1 Bosk.
I don't know. Like there was a discussion or a talk of Hasbro doing, and I don't understand the rationale. Like what determines case singles versus multi-pack? You know, like.
Yeah,
I would take a case single.
You'd have to get in the mind of those guys at the boardroom, and I sometimes don't think they have them.
No. All right, sticking to 2015, we're moving on to Wave 8. This one, a literal heavy hitter. We're going to, I guess technically you could say The Empire Strikes Back, but the portrait definitely says Return of the Jedi, and that is Emperor Palpatine. I had this figure, and like I said before, I guess I technically still have this body because it is a reuse on the Amazon exclusive, but it does come with some new heads. He is number 11 in Phase 2. He's 100% new sculpt, and this is another go at trying to make soft goods work. And I have to tell you that it is very hit or miss here. When I had this version of the figure, I think I put several liters of hot water on that hood to try and sculpt it. And even then, it just never draped the way that I wanted it to. That being said, even though we're still pre-face print, portrait's not too bad.
It's pretty good.
It's not too bad. Looks like the Empire. Remember when the woman played him in the hologram?
Yeah.
It looks more like that than Ian McDermott.
gross. His head looks like a scrotum. I wonder if that was some of the inspiration for that.
He's a wrinkly purse.
Or one of those Apple, remember those Apple baby things? The shrunken head things?
Oh dear.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
I'm not going to pull him off because he's deep into my Empire shelf, but I
That's
have
okay.
the archive version of this figure, and his
This
face
one did
is
get an archive
very
release.
different.
Yeah. He got a whole new head. I think they reused the Amazon, because the Amazon version of this came with like two or three heads. And I think when they did the archive version, they stuck one of the Amazon heads on it,
Yeah.
or vice versa. I don't remember which one came out. That face. Also, as Josh says, and I hear it too, go for Papa Palpatine.
Something dark side.
What the hell is an aluminum falcon?
Stormtrooper.
I'm crossing my genres here. Family Guy with
Yeah.
robot chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
intertwined.
my favorite. Like when the stormtroopers are passing him on the escalator. Fuck you.
He's crying.
All I can say about this figure is I'm glad that his legs aren't like the old Kenner version where it was
Oh, just he was like
big chunky legs of.
he's just a traffic cone of plastic.
Right.
That's awesome. That reminds, who else was like that? Oh, remember the Clash of the Titans action figure line?
Mm-hmm.
Charon, the ferryman for the boat.
Oh,
He was like that.
Yeah.
Actually, he was my stand-in emperor for years.
Mm.
I never had an emperor in the vintage line.
Hmm.
The emperor, strangely enough, he came with a walking stick. So that does sort of say Return of the Jedi, because we don't really see him do anything in Empire except be a hologram.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Did he use his walking stick when he got off on the Death Star, though?
yeah, on the third movie, on
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Hmm.
Yep, he
I always thought
definitely
he
had
just
it.
kind of walked along, Mr. Burns-ish.
I'm pretty sure he had the stick. Now you're going to make me look.
Well, I'll have to go back and watch it.
I'm starting to second guess myself. Did he have it or not?
Ooh,
Well, I'm going to look.
here's your whoop-ass stick.
I'm just going to pull that up. Emperor.
he definitely came with like a a painted version of Yoda's cane in the Hasbro or in the early Kenner stuff. I think.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
Yeah,
carrying.
he's rocking it.
Yeah, he's carrying a stick in one hand, in his right hand.
Walk softly and carry a Death Star.
There you go.
Zazel says, "Oh, handsome devil." Wah, wah, wah. Literally a handsome devil.
I have been scarred.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a going to Revenge of the Sith there.
Yeah.
I just got that one earlier, well, in late 2024.
Mm-hmm.
This one could definitely benefit from, I think, a new body. The Amazon exclusive that comes and the archive did not really benefit in the body department. Unfortunately, the plastic underrobe really hampers what you can do with
I
this
think
one.
they should have gone with like a full soft goods thing for that piece. Because, like, how hard is it to friggin' maneuver his legs when you got a big chunk of plastic holding them in place?
It's tough.
It's
really
he doesn't
tough.
lend himself to sitting in the throne.
No.
He doesn't
not at
lend
all.
himself
At
to
all.
doing anything really well. I mean,
It'd be
like,
cool if he had heart-shaped bloomers, like with like hearts on the white underwear, boxers.
The inbox version, like, I hate to say it because I collect toys and not toy packaging, but the way that the clamshell on this holds everything together looks better than standing loose where the robes are left to billow open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can never quite get them to like wrap around him correctly.
Yeah, unless you put like a magnet on the front two corners there.
Oh,
Or-
I'm
or
not
something
that, I'm not that skilled.
heavy.
I'm not that skilled. He looks like he would have some kind of unlimited power. Sorry, did I pull that off?
Yeah.
All right. If you've ever heard the actor, that's Ian McDermott, say that sitting in the chair, he had to scoot his feet to turn the chair. I've spoken with Ian McDermott. I met him several years ago. We did not
Nice.
talk about that. I actually chose, when you meet a celebrity and you're like, don't say something stupid. Don't say something stupid. And then you get there and blah.
I loved you in Star Wars.
I actually did not talk Star Wars with him at all.
Really?
Nope. I had the picture. I slid it across with my name on it. I said, thank you for choosing the arts. Because, I mean, remember, Ian was born at a time when being in the arts might not have been a very manly thing to do. I thanked him for choosing the arts as a career. And I told him that I loved his work in Dragon Slayer.
Nice.
And he literally put the pen down and looked at me and he said, that was my first Hollywood movie. And I thought, well, that's super cool. Super, super cool. Sneaker squeaks. Scoot, 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 scoot.
It's like Tarkin with his slippers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Get this man some slippers. He's a professional actor.
I'm not wearing these fucking boots. George, just shoot it from the waist up. That's what we're doing. Okay, we'll do it. Josh, I was that way with Captain Power.
Nice.
Starstruck, eh? Don't say something stupid. Don't say something stupid. I love you in Captain Power.
I met Drew Barrymore as a beautiful adult woman, and I was like, I've loved you since E.T. Like I was a super weirdo.
Hey, I
was only 7, so it's okay.
How about Firestarter? Was that before or after? That would have been after. I think.
That was after. Yeah, E.T. She was like 4 years old.
They've just reinvented the Hollywood Squares, and she is the center square.
Oh wow!
On the new Hollywood Squares. And Zazel says also great in Sleepy Hollow. Are we saying Ian McDiarmid was in Sleepy Hollow, the Johnny Depp one?
I believe so.
It's been a while since I've watched this movie. Why don't I remember this?
Oh,
I'd have to go back and watch
Christopher
it.
Walken was in it.
He was a great dude. Oh, Captain Power was a great dude. So who was what? Because what?
Because Christopher Walken was in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, that he was. He was the horseman.
Yeah.
He was fucking terrifying in that.
Yes, he
wow.
was.
Talk to my son like that again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Oh, this is awesome. I love it when you talk to these people and they're just so down to earth. He told me not to make such a fuss. He's the guy his wife makes take out the trash.
Nice.
That is a great celebrity experience.
Nice.
I love those. So was Ray Park. Ray Park was in Sleepy Hollow? What am I missing?
What?
All the extra players because you're too busy looking.
I think he meant Ray Park was a great dude.
Ray Park was a great dude when he's not raging on booze.
Wasn't Ray Park like 9 when Sleepy Hollow came out?
I was at the year that I met Ray Park. I was at Fan Expo in Toronto, and the guy behind me in the line had the Pepsi promotional life-size blow injection.
standee?
Yeah, no, not the standee. The injection molded, like
Really?
plastic thing. He's like, oh wow. He's like, I'll sign it. And then Ray said to the guy, to the convention goer, he's like, do you want to leave it in my booth until you're ready to go? And he's like, can I? He's like, absolutely. It's me. So yeah,
he put it in the chair. It was signing autographs for the rest of the day.
Just sticking his arm out, from underneath the elbow. That's awesome. All right, Emperor Palpatine. Unfortunately, this one just it's cool.
You kind of need it.
You do. I for the longest time he stood on the shelf beside beside that Vader. The Vader we looked at already. The one that's trying to be all Vaders at one time.
Mm-hmm.
They stood together for a long time. Certainly the archive ups the game on this one by improving that face.
Yeah.
But I'm torn on this one. Hank, where are you at on scoring the Emperor
I'd have
Palpatine?
to say like he's a 6.5. I mean I did skip these because I wasn't in the habit of buying a lot. I was buying vintage collection at the time.
Were you in at this point?
I was into the 3.75 pretty heavily at this point. Whatever they were called before they were called Black Series.
Before vintage collection. I can't remember what they were called.
Yeah, they were in they came in a lot of different boxes actually.
Yeah.
A lot of different packaging. They went through multiple versions of packages, the 3.75. But I probably would have if this was on the shelf with that Han and that Bosk and I would have definitely skipped it for later and might have lost it because I didn't pick it up in real time, but and knowing that the archive version is so drastically better.
Yeah. Well, portrait wise anyway.
Portrait wise, absolutely. Yeah, it's not the greatest representation of this character, and I understand why they did it.
Yep.
Um, it's light years ahead of the Kenner the Kenner versions that we've had. Um, yeah, it's not my favorite figure, and it's one I could wait on because of like when you're doing action figure photography or even like if you're a kid and acting out scenes, he's in like 30 seconds of the like there's a lot of people I would have put out a figure of before I would have put out a Palpatine.
What's interesting is you say like you would skip on this knowing that you could wait for it, but like,
At that point, you didn't know you could wait, right?
well,
Right.
if you saw this one and you're like, I'll wait because we've already done prequel trilogy figures. Maybe they'll do a Revenge of the Sith one.
Yeah.
2024 is when they did that one. So I mean, if you didn't
You
get
waited
this
a
one,
while.
if you didn't get the archive release, or if you didn't get the Amazon release, then like, okay, you went a long time,
Well,
over a decade without an Emperor figure.
And there's a new release with the throne now too.
It's a re-release.
A re-release.
Yeah, a re-release of the Amazon exclusive. Yeah,
But it's in box stores though? It's in retail?
That's a good question. Or is it just a straight up release to Amazon? I don't recall. I'll have to look that one up. So Josh says, oh yeah, I'm just the guy who takes out the trash. I immediately had a vision of Captain Power taking out trash and mumbling to himself, "Don't they know who I am? How do they?" Then he says, "Did you say something?" And he goes, "I didn't say anything to you."
nothing, dear.
Gaz says, I met Jonathan Frakes and John Delancey at a convention. I was super nervous and both were ultra nice and super down to earth. I have an awesome John Delancey story. It doesn't involve me, but it does involve my wife, who may or may not still be watching. My wife works in as a hairstylist, and many, many years ago, John Delancey was in Canada filming something in the Greater Toronto area, and he just happened to walk into the salon where my wife was working. My wife, being a huge Star Trek fan, immediately recognizes him, but not wanting to bring attention to it, kind of does the whole like, right. So she's working on him and she musters up the courage to say, "You're cute." And he's playing coy with her. He's doing the old kind of like side, like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. And he does this the whole visit. And she's like, "No, you're really him. You're him." And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know." He leaves. So my wife has had this story for years about, I cut John Delancey's hair, early on when he was still on Star Trek, and I'm a huge fan. And then she doesn't have anything else to go with that. So fast forward to the COVID years. Now we have social media. You can follow all your favorite celebrities online. We both follow John Delancey, who is partnered with a company to do digital autographs during COVID. So you could pick the piece of art, which was a Q inspired artwork, and then you could have it personalized from him, and he would digitally sign it, and then it would be auto printed on and sent to you. For a gift for Christmas or her birthday, I bought the thing, and it's a portrait of Q, and the inscription says, "Thanks for the haircut, John Delancey."
Nice.
Now, imagine being John Delancey sitting there at your desk fulfilling these requests, and you see that come across your
Right.
desk.
I mean,
Oh,
I would have to, like, without an explanation, there could only be, you get a lot of haircuts over your life, but maybe, the only time you kind of stumbled into a random salon for that, like.
Yeah. What else we got here? Super down to earth. Cool. I need to. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to meet Frakes. Josh says, "I hate this cold weather. Everything is shocking me." I hear you, man.
It's dry.
Who is John Delancey? That's Q. Yep. Q. Okay, we're all caught up now. We're all caught up. Okay. Andy, what'd you say? What do you want to score the Emperor at?
I'm gonna score him at a 6.
He's a 6.
Yeah, just because of the plastic skirt there. Not a fan of those.
I am not either. Although I do have a figure. Can you think of an example where the traffic cone skirt actually helped rather than hindered?
Not exactly a traffic cone skirt, but the cloak on not the Ebony Maw, Corvus Glaive from Infinity War.
Yep.
actually helps him balance really well.
Oh, because of the
Yeah.
swoop on the back?
Yeah.
Mine, I had to heat it up because it kept wanting to flex down and push him off.
Hmm.
Hasbro's Dungeons and Dragons line, the Toys R Us exclusive Venger,
Mhm.
who's much larger than all the figures, has a full length plastic skirt right to the floor, covers his legs, his boots, and everything.
Hmm.
So you could literally fold the legs up underneath the figure and he would still stand up and you'd never know.
Nice.
So
I can't get up to get it, but I'm looking up at my Obi-Wan Kenobi
excuse me.
carded 40th anniversary, which is a re-release of the
Yep.
original, and I think that's the same body repainted
From
the waist down.
Kenobi. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? You might be
I'm looking
right.
at it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is actually.
I'd have to go to my parts bin, and you know why? I told you. Did I tell you this story?
I don't know.
I have you said, Hank, you mentioned earlier about the land speeder, Luke, which I do have because I bought the land speeder.
Mhm.
And I thought, great, I've got the land speeder. Now I can recreate that scene from the movie. But you can't
No,
because the land
did tell us,
speeder is not big enough. It's
to
not
hold the droids.
scaled big enough to fit Luke. Like Luke will fit in the driver's seat, no problem. But to get Luke in the land speeder and to get Obi-Wan in the seat beside him is impossible. So I got an X-Acto knife and I cut the underskirt off so that it's in a bag in my parts bin. But now I've got Obi-Wan or old Ben and Luke in the land speeder, but you cannot fit the droids on the back deck because 3PO's feet will not go behind the seat.
Aw.
Damn.
Obi-Wan's got his pants off.
You might be right. I never considered that this was a reuse of the Obi-Wan body.
I'm just wondering because it's hard to tell from here. My eyes are super bad as I get older, but the two little like ties that drop down like the belt.
Yeah.
May be slightly different. He might
I'm gonna
have
have a
that.
look.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look him up. I do want to see. No, I don't
That's
want to
pretty
shop.
cool.
I want an image.
I
I want an image. I don't want to shop for
have
him.
a dog here on my mic that keeps catching my eye, and if people are wondering why I'm playing with my mic, it's that reason.
Here we go.
Slightly different.
Okay, no, these are not the same.
They are not
It's
the
got a
same.
bigger-
Okay.
They are not.
It's
No.
like a scarf hanging down.
You squirt your eye. If you squint your eyes from 20 feet away, they look identical.
Oh, Jesus. That's a whole other thing. All right, where's my notes? My notes are gone. Notes, where are you? There you are. You're back. 6 for you, eh?
Yep.
I mean, I feel like he's a must-have. Like you've got the ultimate hero, you've got Luke Skywalker, and at this point we've got
At this
X-Wing?
point, did we have Jedi Luke?
no, we have
We do. We talked
sorry,
about
we
his.
do. We do have Jedi Luke.
We
We've
talked
got
about his fold down.
X-Wing pilot Luke.
Yes,
We've
that's
got
right.
Bespin Luke at this point.
Mhm.
And we've got Farm Boy Luke and Jedi Luke. So we've got 4 Lukes,
Right.
1 Vader,
Yep.
and now 1 Emperor.
All right, I'll bump him to a 6.5 then.
Oh, I was
Okay.
going to say you could keep the 5 because I think that's about all he's worth. No, yeah, he's a 5, maybe somewhere between a 5 and a 6, but I wouldn't give him more for that. Like the rubber, like the plastic underskirt hurts this character more than it helps.
Mm.
If anything, reverse them and give him a plastic overskirt.
Mm.
Do the arms in fabric and have a fabric inner skirt. That would have been better.
Hmm.
But hey, who am I?
Yep.
Who am I? Josh says the Emperor gets a 5.
Yeah, that
He
face
gets
is
a 5.
that face is awful.
All right. How many Lukes did I say we had?
He
least
looks
4.
like Prune Face from the Kenner. The Kenner wave.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Prune Face from Dick Tracy.
No, but the old
like him
Kenner
too.
Prune Face. Yeah.
Yeah. How many Lukes did I say?
4.
4.
Okay, well, let's make that 5 because we get Luke Skywalker.
There it is.
Stormtrooper disguise.
Nice.
And of course, this figure is yet another use of that first gen Stormtrooper body with two modifications. Anybody want to take a guess on what they are?
Shorter neck.
Torso, the midpoint of the torso.
Shorter torso, yeah. Shorter
Yeah.
torso is one. What's the other one?
Oh my.
One other thing.
I don't know.
I'm staring at it. His legs are really long. Maybe his crotch, like his.
No, sir.
You got me.
The belt is modified for the comm link. comes with a comm link.
Oh,
And
that's
there's a
right. There's a
there's a
little
clip
hooky.
on the belt
I
to
don't know if you
hold
can
the
see it.
comm link.
Huh.
None of the other stormtroopers have this.
Right.
None of them.
He also has a. I don't think Han does not have
He
a
does not have the comm link clip.
or the holster.
No holster on his?
Yeah, no
Isn't that
holster on
something?
Han, and you have the holster here.
I didn't realize that.
This, of course, is the Luke after having gone under to fight the Dianaga.
Hang on a second. Let me go back and look at that. Does he not have the holster? I thought
It looks
he
like
did.
He
got the
does
holster
have
on
a
the back.
holster.
He does have a
So
holster. Yeah.
maybe
yeah.
someone ripped me up. I have no
Oh.
holster on my Han.
Did you buy him loose? You said.
I did buy him loose for $10, so I can't really complain.
You know what? Then I bet you somebody nerfed it. I wonder if they got it for. But the stormtroopers had that.
Hmm.
Why would you cut that off?
I don't know. There's not even the. Well, maybe.
Like, is there evidence that it was there at one
Yeah,
time?
there is
Yeah.
evidence that it
Okay,
was
so
there.
somebody cut it off.
Or it snapped off.
Isn't
either
that
way.
something? Oh, that's
Yeah.
possible too.
Huh.
Coincidentally, Josh says, I just got Bruneface the other day from a new comic shop that I found.
Nice.
Was that Dick Tracy Bruneface or Star Wars Bruneface? I'm going to go with Star Wars. Going with Star Wars until you tell me it's not. Yeah, so yeah, the shorter torso and the comlink belt clip. This one is a reuse of the X-Wing pilot Luke Skywalker head, which I got to be honest with you, up until I was doing the notes for this, I had not realized. I'm like, the paint is so new. That's got to be a new head sculpt. Nope. It's just like the Han Solo. It's a better, I would say better, more natural looking paint application.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this one, no paint on the bolt for the E11. But I guess
No.
we've made up for that by giving him the comm link.
That's got the paint app on there.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's yeah. You only get a little bit of silver. That's it.
We're giving you an accessory. We can't give you paint.
Yep.
Like it's one or the
There's
other.
only so much paint to go around.
It's one or the other.
There you go. It was the Star Wars.
It was
Bruneface.
Star Wars. Okay. This comic shop didn't really have much of what I wanted. I didn't want to leave empty-handed, so I just bought something. Oh, that's cool.
Support
Done that a lot.
Supporting local, man. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. I did the same thing at PB&J. I needed some stuff for my gaming group, and I'm like, everybody's getting dice for Christmas, so what do you got? Okay. What more can we say about this Stormtrooper body that we haven't already looked at or talked about?
Yeah.
Does the reduced torso make him more stable?
Not really, no.
No,
He's still
not
got the
really.
wonky legs.
It's got that big warped leg.
Yep.
I'm probably going to give him like you know, you need him if you're going to do the Han, and this is the one problem that we had in the original Kenner version that they just stopped making figures before both figures were out in real time together.
Yeah.
So you're always longing for the Luke or somebody did it. But when you look at the re-release of this guy, it's so much better with the like the dirty.
Here,
and
let's solo you on that one. Yeah, it's still that first gen trooper body.
Absolutely.
But that head is just that's
I don't know
night and day.
Yeah, and even the helmet is a new helmet because I'll put these side by each like finger puppets, and
bigger eyes and
the dark one looks way better.
Yeah, and that nice little scuff there.
That's what I mean. That looks 100 times better.
Yeah. So in terms of that, I won't rate him as high as Han. But still, I'm a sucker for the scene. I love a good hero in disguise. I'm going to give him an 8. And 10. Maybe a 7, and I'll give the newer version an 8 because it's just so much better.
It's interesting, like having them both together, because by the time Luke goes to the comlink, he's already been dragged underneath.
Right.
So it's almost like you could have just gone to that one first. Like we almost didn't need this one. We could have just had the wet look and been done with it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they chose to go back to that. And
he's
that
also very shiny compared to the Han.
That's true. But that could work to your advantage because
Yeah,
he did
'cause
just
he's
get pulled
covered
under
in
the
schmutz.
water.
Right.
Yeah, schmutz. um,
Garbage water.
what was your number, Hank? What did you say?
I said he was a 7,
7.
in this version, and
Yeah,
I would
and
give
an
the
8.
re-release an 8.
Oh, nice. Andy, where are you at with this one?
I'm sitting around a 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, only
Oh.
because like 5 Lukes already.
Wow, Judgy Judgerson.
I know.
Well, we didn't get paint on the blaster, which is a disappointment because you gave it to me on Han, and I didn't have the knowledge about the industry like I do now, so that's a bit of a disappointment. I understand it, and I could paint it on myself. I haven't, and I won't. But they did make him shorter, and that's a detail that
That's a good detail.
it is a good detail. So I have to give him points for that. I think he's a 7.5 or an 8, but it's a 2015 7.5.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
an 8. It is not a 2025.
I would be super
7.5.
surprised if we don't get re-release of these on the modern body.
That anniversary is come and gone for this movie. Like, is there a milestone where we could shoehorn this in?
I mean, if you're doing like an anniversary pack, you do Luke, Han, and George Lucas.
And that new
All
Leia,
three
but
in Star
dirty
Wars.
her
Oh,
up.
right.
The new Leia sculpt, but make her really dirty.
Oh yeah, like she's been in the trash. Give her
Yeah.
the thing, the pole.
Like a 3-pack with the Dianoga,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all three of them filthy.
That would be cool.
Or maybe a 4-pack, throw a dirty, wet Chewie in there.
That would be very cool.
Mm.
Josh says 6. He gets a 6. It'd be crazy cooler if they had the snake, the Dianoga. I have the 12-inch version that did, and a spring-loaded missile. Who got a missile?
I don't know.
Did Boba Fett get a rocket-firing pack in the 12-inch line, in the Kenner line?
Probably.
The only one that did.
I don't know.
All right, so these two, it's funny that these two waves are small. They could have just been one wave altogether because we've only got one more figure to go, and I wish I could tell you it was more exciting, but alas, it's another clone trooper.
Clones.
This one, number 13, this is the Clone Trooper Captain, and this figure did get an updated release in the chisel-edged box. They did re-release this. I think it's on the new body, but this is the original one. Phase 1 Clone Trooper. And
some red paint.
Yeah. Red paint, and he does have some paint applications on both blasters. That's one thing I will say about these troops over the other ones is that 2 rifles.
Right.
2 rifles. I'm happy with that. They haven't
Unless you're
all
a
come
main
with that.
character like Cody or Fox.
And you got like twin. Well, if you're an ARC trooper, you got twin pistols.
Right.
Twin pistols. Cody came with 2 rifles. He came with both of these.
Yep. So did Fox.
Yes,
You
he did.
bastard.
Yes, he did. So yeah, I for reference, I put all of them up there. There's all the colors from the lowliest trooper all the way up to the clone commander. I thought there were a different number of dots to denote rank, but no, it's strictly color. And yeah, this is 100% the same clone that we've looked at twice before. So this is the 3rd use of this mold, and it won't be the last because there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's funny, 5 of them. I didn't realize that. Of these 5, I've only got 3 of them.
Oh wow.
And the reason for that is one of them was an exclusive in a multi-pack.
In
the evolution of the Stormtrooper pack.
Yeah.
That's where the commander came from. Sadly, I did not get it. Luke's gun had it. Luke's gun had the missile. Okay.
12-inch Kenner?
No, probably the Power of the Force.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, 12-inch Kenner Luke. That would make sense. But again, Power of the Force was pretty wacky.
They had some wacky stuff.
There was also a bunch of wacky...
steroid problem.
Yeah, the orange card.
Every figure had a steroid problem.
There were those... not that long ago, the 3 3/4, not the fully articulated ones, but the 5 POA ones. They all had like backpacks that had some kind of motorized function.
Oh, all the Force Awakens stuff had a crazy accessory.
Yeah.
The Rogue One and the Last Jedi figures all had some
crazy
weapon you
stuff.
would set up. Yeah.
A lot of those showed up at Dollarama.
Oh yeah. In fact, that's where I picked up the Rebels Leia, the animated Leia that I mailed to you.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about this body is the articulation on this figure is about as much as you would expect from a guy wearing armor.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of weird considering that when this movie came out, they were all CGI. There were no clones in armor. Not in Phase 1 armor, anyway. We've reviewed this figure before. I don't know if it rates any higher for you guys because of the nice red paint.
No, they certainly look all like great on a shelf together. You know, like I said, a brilliant use of a repack with the Hans and the Lukes, and sort of way less. You could literally release the original Trooper with a little jar of paint. Paint your own
Here's
Trooper.
Some stickers.
DIY.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Here's some decals. So he's probably a 5 for me because again, this is the third time we've seen him, and we're at what, 11, 12 figures.
This
13.
one number 13.
I don't know, 13.
Number 13. Yeah. Yeah, man.
So that's almost 10%.
Seriously, yeah. Josh says it's a 6 individually or 8 as a team.
No, I agree with that sentiment.
There's the value in that is like you get them all on a shelf lined up and you go, oh, there's a whole squad here, or the whole rank structure.
But so smart from a business model perspective.
Oh, totally.
Like, you know.
And again, I mean, it's Star Wars, and there is a narrative reason for this. And you know, a lot of it's blink and you'll miss it, but we do see all the colors in the movies. Yoda talks to one of the commanders, you know, get me a ship. He talks to a commander, but yeah,
to the front line we must go.
That's the line. Yeah. So Andy, you go.
I'm 5 as well.
5, eh?
Because, you know, there's so many reasons and a million more on the way.
I will give props to the accessories on this. Both the rifles have paint on them. That cannot be said of other clones that came with these rifles. Most of them do not. I think Cody's has paint. I can't see him offhand, but a lot of them don't. And I do believe that there is value in having them lined up together. Again, I don't have all the colors, but individually, there's nothing new going on here. It's just another clone to add your collection. So if you're an army builder, I would say this was a must-have.
Now, these are still hand-painted, too, so you're going to get some variants across these, right? This is before they were...
Are they? I don't know.
Computer paint?
I couldn't tell you if these are... I couldn't imagine them hand-painting thousands of 6-inch figures.
Oh, those kids they're good at their jobs.
Maybe. For me, I love the clones. I love them if they got a name. These guys are all nameless, but man, I love those clones. He's a 7. He's a 7 for me.
There you go.
I don't know. Maybe I gave him a better score. I'll have to go back and watch our previous episodes. What did I score the other ones? Was it better, worse, the same? I don't know. Anybody remember?
Red paint. Come on now.
Man, so that is it. That is waves 6 and 7 for
7 and 8.
7 and 8 for phase 2. We are going to keep going with this until Daredevil Born Again comes out. I think we're thinking about reviewing Born Again. However, before we get going, I did say to hang on, Josh, because we had an extra slide just for you. Earlier today, you sent us over some pictures of your Power of the Force 2 collection, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we just share them with everybody?
So this is our fan corner episode slide.
Ooh.
Here we go. It's Josh's, or JoeFan84 from YouTube. It's your Power of the Force 2 collection here. This looks pretty awesome. I have to know, the shelving for those figures, is that custom? Like, it just looks sized perfectly for a 3 3/4 figure. I do like that.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah. I like that you've got those. And maybe it's just a trick of the shot, but the low shelves look like they have a little angle, so your snow speeders are sitting at a little angle. Yeah, that's a nice collection, Josh.
So if you wanted to call in on the WhatsApp, now's the time.
Now would be the time to do that, as we are. Which shelves?
The black ones on the bottom, they look like they might be tilted at like a little 15-degree angle forward, but maybe it's just maybe you have the back ends of the... It's flat. Oh, So your snow speeders just look like they're like angled forward a tiny bit. Maybe it's the landing gears and stuff, but it's a nice touch.
Hmm.
Even if they're just sitting there, it's that's a beautiful display.
One of the things, I mean, Power of the Force. I know Josh wants to talk about this. Hopefully, he can get in. If you want to give us a call, Josh, this is the perfect time to do it. But keep the conversation going. I did not come back to Star Wars until the Black Series, but I watched as Power of the Force came to toy shelves, and there was a part of me that was like, "Oh, I wish I was a kid again."
Hmm.
I was just happy to see Star Wars back on the shelves, and you know, yes, those first waves were typical '90s fare. Everybody had to, hit the gym,
Yep.
but I was just happy to see Star Wars on shelves.
Hmm.
I have no idea what happened to these, but I had all of them.
All right, hang on. We got Josh coming in here live on the show. Hello, Josh.
Yes, sir. It's
Hey,
me.
how are you?
I'm doing well.
Very good,
How
my
are you?
friend. Everything's great tonight. I hope you're having a good night.
Yeah, I just got done eating. I'm back
Fantastic.
better
Attaboy.
now.
Fantastic. So,
But yes, the regular shelves are flat, but the shelves that the figures are on
yeah, yeah.
are from a toygear.com.
Okay.
Oh,
And I got them for my GI Joes and Star Wars, and they fit all of them, even
though
the modern Joes. They fit.
it
Nice.
looks like behind them there's like, like on the card there's that foil that goes around the outside,
Hmm.
like that line
Yes,
art. Is that part of the shelf?
it is.
Oh, that's really
They have.
cool.
That's a great touch.
It is. It is. They are. They have these inserts that you can cut out and put them in the background for. They have Hot Wheels ones. They have
Oh,
like
wow.
the checkered flags and for GI Joe they have that digital explosion.
Sure, sure.
And then I'll have to send y'all a picture of those as well.
Hmm.
And but yeah, and for Star Wars they have that one. And they have just like plain red or plain green or plain orange, whichever But those are the ones that I liked.
Do you consider, and I saw when I had a closer look at your photos, and I can tell I probably know the answer already, but do you consider the Shadows of the Empire figures an extension of Power of the Force?
I do.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, yeah, really.
I saw the Shizor and I'm like, yes, Power of the Force,
Yeah,
or
well,
yeah, Shadows of the Empire.
I honestly at the time didn't know anything about Shadows of the Empire,
Oh man,
and I just happened to be over at a friend's house, and he pulled out this figure, and I'm like, who is that?" And he said, "Well, this is Shizor from Shadows of the Empire,"
yeah, yeah.
and I was like, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, it's a video game," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so he showed it to me, and I got super into it, and then I started reading some of the books, and
Now,
That
and
have you owned these since like day one, since their release, or this is something that you've collected in modern times?
oh no, I've had them since 95,
My
96
Oh
when
wow,
they
man,
came over
my
yes.
to
man.
come out. Yeah,
I
yeah. When
definitely
when I was
I'm jealous of that.
Hmm.
well, when I was a kid, I didn't really, like I mostly just had the core stuff because again, I was born in '84, and I was too late for Star Wars. And growing up, I didn't really have, a couple of friends had some vintage Star Wars stuff, but I never could find any. And GI Joe was a little on the expensive side, so all I had
Mm.
was the core. And then I had a few of those Star Wars Bendems, if you remember those.
I
Oh, I
do,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had quite a few of those, and then I still have one of them came with like a collector's coin that I still have,
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
I don't shake a stick at the core. By the way, those Leonard figures. I mean, by themselves, they all have their own sort of like little history and their own little bios,
hmm
just like a GI Joe. And to me, it's just a natural extension of the line. So I quite like those early core figures.
Hmm.
I do, and I still have 5 or 6 of my originals. Only 5 or 6 made it.
I remember a couple that was like Whipsaw and Bengali,
Nice, nice.
and oh my god, there was a couple. Oh my god, what
There was
Cybor?
Gunner and
Yeah,
Well, I have to
Let's
commend you because like hanging on to your original stuff for as long as you have, like you can ask Wes, he'll corroborate that if I still had my original Star Wars collection, I'd be half a millionaire by now.
Yeah, seriously.
I had so many toys, bro. But that is a rare and beautiful thing, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, I
thank you.
definitely I'm envious that of you being able to hold on to your childhood collection. It's not something that I was able to do, and I didn't have I was talking about this earlier today.
Mhm.
I had no choice in that. It was
Mm,
all gotten rid of on my behalf without any discussion.
Consultation.
Yeah, nothing.
mm.
But
Well, I had them.
when
Oh,
you're a
sorry.
teenager, that's
Go ahead.
just what happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, life happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Similar. When I was I was like 11 or 12 when those came out. 95, I would have been 11. And just and my dad had just recently gotten a really good job,
Yeah.
and then when that line came out, I was just all over it.
Do
Nice.
you remember what the price point would have been?
I do. I remember some of them. Some of the boxes that I have like a 349 sticker on them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite or a standout piece?
Um, my favorite has always been Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, because I just that's always been my favorite one, and again reading the books and how he became a Jedi Master and reopened the school and just all the all the lore and all the extra stuff. I enjoyed it.
One of the things that I love the most about Power of the Force, and I think this is where the line really shined, was that um, we not only did we get to break out some of those old Kenner molds and reuse them, but a lot of them got updated or they got improved. Like the TIE fighters, especially the standard TIE fighter, which when we got a TIE fighter, Hank, it was just the wing panels were just stickers.
Right.
But in Power of the Force, it's molded details.
Right.
It is
Right.
molded details,
And
and
I
Yeah.
just
the
love
wings
that.
pop off.
Yes.
And that AT-AT is beautiful. Like I'm staring at my vintage Kenner right now, and yours is beautiful comparatively.
Well, that one I just had to reacquire it. During my second divorce, a few things got stolen
Oh
Mm.
dear.
to be sold out from under me, and that was
Mm,
one of the things I had to. But it was missing a few things. It was missing the little missiles on the side, and it was missing the shields, and it was just missing a few things that I could have gotten back. But when I was in the process of moving out, there was just a few things I had to leave behind that came up missing. A few
Yeah,
Nintendo games.
yeah. It's funny, you might find this too. And I remember like I did have my Kenner stuff into my 20s, and then life actually happened similar to you with an ex-wife type thing. But I remember looking at, going into a store and looking at the like polybagged versions of open figures from the Kenner waves and going, I remember my playware, my specific playware on figures, and having it not be there on these figures made them feel like they weren't ever going to
this
be
isn't
mine.
real.
Mm.
You
This
know what I
isn't
mean?
real. It's
Like,
not the same.
yeah, it's like listening to a Led Zeppelin tape, and you could like a record that skips, and then you hear it on CD, and you're like, this isn't Led Zeppelin. What is this? Do you find that? Do you find you've memorized your little play, your what you're wearing? I guess you would say.
Um, yeah, I mean, I can remember a lot of things and
I
trying
did,
to think.
well, while you're thinking on that, I brought this up earlier when you put this in our when you messaged us through the Facebook page to show us this stuff. I had messaged back one of the other things I loved about this line, and I can see a couple of them here, is that Power of the Force was not afraid to take risks. Remember in the vintage Kenner line, we got the what were they called? The mini rigs. Remember the mini
Totally,
rigs, Hank? And the
totally,
mini
yeah.
rigs were just Kenner's way of like, let's pad out the line so we can
Hmm.
sell more toys.
Absolutely.
Power of the Force did it a different way. They're like, let's go into like the concept art and let's make toys out of some of those concepts that never made it to screen. and I can see here like the snow speeder concept is in there,
Yeah.
the speeder bike concept is in there, and those are two designs that I absolutely love.
Yeah, this gorgeous stuff.
The Bespin Cloud Car one is there as well.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
they.
just
I
love
didn't. I
that
never
stuff.
got an actual. I never got the actual Bespin Cloud Car, but I got the concept art of it. But like I was saying, it's just all that stuff that I was getting. 'Cause I was the only male child of my family and the
Right,
youngest,
right.
so I got pretty spoiled.
That's awesome.
Excuse me.
But I always got appreciative of everything that I had because I knew how hard everybody had to work for it. And so like when I would play with them, I wouldn't take their weapons outside, or I would buy extra weapons for them to play with, and then I would put their normal weapons back with them.
I took my original Empire Han Solo, the Hoth version of Han. I took him outside. At this time, I was living in Calgary, Alberta, and so like this was a new
I'm in
figure.
Alberta.
Probably got it for Christmas. I'm like January outside, and for some reason, I had him rigged up in the Fisher Price Adventure People parachute. You know, the one that looked like a rainbow pinwheel.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was throwing this thing up and letting him come back down. And it was so cold out that on one drop, I went to pick Han up. And when I picked him up, his head snapped off. And I was like, no.
Oh no.
That's actually a common problem with that figure. I had two of them with their heads glued on
Yeah. Yeah.
in real time. That was a
No.
common big
I should have
problem
kept
with
it.
that figure.
Toy Polloi, if anything, Toy Polloi taught me stick a piece of Lego in there. It'd have been fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, man, I want to say, I want to thank you for calling in and for sending us these pictures of your Power of the Force collection. This
That's
is a
amazing, bro.
mighty
Yeah.
impressive collection.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
I
I'd
love
like-
Just
the
one wall.
I love the Jabba's palace setup. How much of that is cardboard?
It's all cardboard.
It is. Oh, okay. Is the throne? The throne is the proper dais, though, right?
Everything's cardboard. Everything on there. And
Oh my
the
God.
throne is like triple cardboard.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Well, for cardboard, it's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks good, and I'm surprised it survived this long.
That's fantastic.
Listen, if you had to summarize it and wrap up Power of the Force 2 for us, what are your thoughts on the line as a whole?
The line as a whole, it started out kind of like all of them being like super muscular, like He-Man. but later on, when it got to actual like better detail and stuff, and the figures actually looking like what they're supposed to, it was fantastic to me. And like all the play sets, and like I have a lot of good memories of me and my best friend. We would take all my Star Wars stuff downstairs into the den, and we would just have battles for hours.
Nice.
Earlier,
Chasing.
earlier tonight, Hank was talking about before the vintage collection was called the vintage collection. Do you remember any of the other lines, like the names of those action figure lines? Because I cannot.
No, I can't.
Yeah. Okay. Power of the Force, and then all the other stuff in between, then Black Series and vintage collection. That's it.
Yeah.
They did the Phantom Menace wave.
They did,
and
which
then the
Yeah.
Attack of
Attack of the Clones
and
wave. There
Revenge
was
of
a
the
re-
Sith.
there was a Revenge of the Sith wave.
there's a bunch of
Power of the
lines.
Force 2.
Well, Power of the Force 2 is this is Power of the Force 2.
Right.
They didn't put the 2 on the packaging.
I see.
No. Yeah,
Just
Power of the
remember-
Force was the vintage.
Remember the final 17. Those are the original Power of the Force.
Right. That's correct. Yeah, you're right.
Final 17. All right. Well, listen, I have to say Power of the Force 2 does not get enough love. And although you're right, those early figures do kind of suffer from being comically over muscular.
Buff.
It kept the brand alive,
Mm-hmm.
or reinvigorated the brand, I should say.
It did. It made me jump back into it because, like I said, when I was a kid, there were you couldn't find Star Wars figures anywhere. I mean, you might find one at a yard sale here and there, but they were all broken and missing everything.
I got one more for you on this line before we wrap it up, and that's I love the Incom, the T16 Skyhopper, because to me, that's exactly the same size as the one Luke's playing with.
Yeah,
in the
that's
movie,
a knock.
right?
That's a right out of the park. That one.
I'd love to own that.
There is a figure on that shelf there of Luke actually holding that model.
Oh,
Nice.
wicked.
Cool.
Yeah, he actually has a little model of that T16, and
That's meta.
that big one actually has a it slides out and you can put a pilot in there.
Oh, that's really, really cool. Well, listen,
Yeah, it
Josh,
has
I
a
just
little
go
spring
ahead.
loaded.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying it has a spring-loaded missile on it.
Oh, right, underneath,
Mhm.
underneath the on the bottom of the
It,
fuselage.
yeah, it would go on there, but it's when the wings are tucked up, you got to take it off and stick it to the back.
Hmm.
And of course, spring-loaded everything. So if they have hair triggers, look out.
Yep.
Yeah. They're a lot more concerned about our eyes in the 70s than they were in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, spring-loaded everything.
All right, I want to say thank you one more time, Josh. Thanks for sending the pictures over. Thanks again for calling, and thank you again for watching the show week after week. We really do appreciate
Oh, it's
that.
always a pleasure,
Well, I
Josh, man.
appreciate y'all.
All
I
right.
appreciate y'all doing it, and I love those. I love those misheard lyrics segments.
Our Sonic Sniper.
We're gonna stump you one day. I don't know how, but one day.
Well, I feel like I don't know music enough to be passing these all the time, but I don't know how
I
I'm
mean,
getting
dude,
them or
you're like
remembering.
what,
You're
5 for 5
savant.
or something? Like, I don't think you've missed one yet.
That's awesome.
I did miss one a few.
One,
There was
okay.
one that I missed a while back.
Is that because you couldn't watch that night?
Well, that was another one. I don't count that
We
one.
can't count that
'Cause
one, no.
I was at work. I was at work. But there was one I thought it was a Disney song and it was something else.
I'll have to go back in the episodes and figure out which one that was.
It was
Mhm.
it was way back.
Figure out what genre that was. That's the ones we need. All right, Josh. Thanks so much for calling in. Thanks for sharing your collection with us. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Y'all
All
take
right.
care of yourselves.
You bet. Have
You
a good
too.
night.
Cheers, man. Call anytime.
Okay, bye-bye for now.
I will. Thank y'all.
All right. So, what a great collection, by the way.
Mhm.
I love what's going on here. I wish I could make this bigger.
Man, if anybody else wants to do the exact same thing, we
Yeah,
would.
by all
This would
means.
knock our socks off.
We should do a whole thing, show and tell.
Mhm.
I would love a show and tell episode. Maybe
Show
when we
and
wrap
tell.
our that'd be 1,000 episodes for now by the time we're done the Black Series. But a show and tell would be incredible.
I love that idea, and I think that's great. So anybody out there who is watching presently, or if you're catching us in the replay, hit us up on all the social media places where we are. They're all across the bottom of the screen. Let us know you would like to take part in a show and tell, and we'd love to have you on the show.
Mhm.
Just like Josh did. You can call us up on the WhatsApp, and we'll take a look at your collection. Talk about all the cool stuff that you own.
Mhm.
For now, we shall return next week. We are going back. We're sticking with blue boxes.
There's a few more yet.
We got some deluxe. I guess
Believe
they're not exclusives. I guess they're just deluxe because I think these were all wide release.
I think so.
I think so. And there's some fun ones. There's one that we're going to talk about that I wish I had 2 of, and I don't. I only have 1. But I'm going to save that for next weekend.
Excellent.
Anything you guys want to touch on before we wrap it up for the night?
Love I mean all the shows I love. Don't get me wrong about the scripted stuff or the reviews and stuff, but these just feel like we're sitting around the coffee table and we're just chatting toys. Like it's so organic. It's so much fun. It's so casual. Yeah, I absolutely love doing this. It makes me want to go. Should we add a third show a week to things
just for action figures?
Just for action figures, like because it's super fun, man.
That is something that we can kick around sort of to ourselves. I'm certainly not opposed to building in another show if that's something that we wanted to do, but we have to have a life.
No, this is it too. This is 100%.
And there is prep time, but
yeah,
this kind of thing, action figure stuff, is one of those things that, like we just did with Josh, we can share it with our friends, which is all of you.
And that's
so
thing, right?
absolutely, do let us know if that's something that you want to take part in, because we would love to host you and talk about your stuff. Show me your loot.
It is a community.
What's
more,
another
right?
word for pirate treasure?
Looty. Booty. Looty? No.
Action figures.
Kay's here. Kay wants to say, as always, another awesome show, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you, Kay.
I'm gonna have a great week. I am gonna have a great week. As
Me
long as
too.
the weather holds off.
Hmm.
All right. Anything from you, Andy?
This week's random fandom might be a bit more random, but
Oh, you got something good cooking?
well, we'll see.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that after.
Hmm.
All right. I got nothing else. Happy to be here as always. Looking forward to the next one, which there will be a next one. So remember, guys, whatever your thing is, always fan on. And remember, for Fandom Power, my name is Wes,
I'm Andy.
And I'm Hank.
and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, everybody.